Three, two, one. E2 performance.
Hi.
You're supposed to say welcome back to E2
Welcome back to another episode of E2 Performance.
Hi.
Hi.
All right, we're going to talk about I personally wanted to retouch on an old episode that we did called Non-Negotiables.
Why?
Because it's tough, man. It's rough. So we talked about a long time ago, I guess, a year plus ago, about non-negotiables. These are things being that tasks that we want to accomplish every single day, like non-negotiable. These tasks must get done. So we talked about, I think, briefly on like drinking water, moving a little bit. Like, do you remember anything that was on your sleeve back then?
I don't think a lot has changed. I think I know what my non-negotiables are. I just don't know if it was non-negotiable the last the last 8 weeks. Hey, we gotta, man, it was tough for everyone. Not just for clients, not just for members, even us professionals. Like, again, when you're thrown off from your rituals or schedule, or from your sleep to your water intake to food, like normally I'll have breakfast by about 7:30. I've already had breakfast right before I get to work, but there are days like past few weeks I haven't had breakfast till like 10:30. Normally I have a brunch instead.
Yeah. And it's
Right.
just like schedule, routine, everything's kind of thrown you off.
Everything changes, but again, I think there's still a balance that someone can find, even though your schedule's a little bit off. Again, as long as you don't eat like an a-hole, right? I think you'd be okay.
Yeah. I really wanted to touch base on the non-negotiables again, because I think it's valuable that it's like every day, small steps towards your goals is essentially going to take you down that really long path of like consistency, longevity. So things like your training, rather than thinking of like, oh, I'm going to do a 3-month transformation challenge, I'm going to grind really hard and then let it all fall apart afterwards. So this idea of non-negotiables is doing these tasks every single day, regardless of circumstance. And non-negotiables, to me, they should be things that are relatively easier to accomplish. Like, they should be little steps that accumulate over a long amount of time to get you towards your goals. So my non-negotiables, like mine definitely fell apart as well. It's something that I even stopped thinking about for a while. And I wanted to retrain my brain to get back on habit with doing them. So I actually had to get a day planner. I'm normally a tech guy. Like, I like technology, like using my iPad or my cell phone for like to-do things like that. But I had to there's so much crap on my phone. There's like Instagram, Facebook, there's news, like there's so much crap on it that like to utilize it as this one tool fits all, it just wasn't working for me. So I got a monthly planner, right? And I like create little boxes to check off, and my non-negotiables are small tasks, but I'm still struggling with them. And I don't know if it's because I'm expecting too much out of myself, or it's just grindy, like priority wise. So the non-negotiables I'm working on right now is to meditate 10 minutes in the morning, which is just sit in silence. It's sit in silence, but then also at the end of the meditation, envision my goals for what I want out of the future and who I want to be, what I want to execute. And then the other ones would be, I'm trying to learn how to speak Vietnamese. We touched about that on the last Coach's Lounge. So I have an app on my phone that kind of takes me through a little lesson for learning Vietnamese. And then I'm doing brain games on my phone to kind of sharpen my mind on like math, vocabulary, grammar, things like that, reading speed. Those are pretty quick. Like the Vietnamese and the meditation, they're pretty quick if you just get them done. Meditating 10 minutes, pretty quick. But then I want to meditate as well at night, right? And then I want to read for 15 minutes, something that's maybe not so much developmental focused. I just want to like read and mellow. And to tick all of these things off every single day, it definitely doesn't happen every day.
Yeah.
And it's it just shows though, like these tasks, I think they're less than, like if you add up all of these non-negotiables, I would say they're less than an hour, say maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes tops. So for me to dedicate 40 minutes tops towards something that I want to proceed like long term, my goals in the future being like to be a better reader, to absorb information better, to speak a new language, to have like greater like sense of self and mindfulness. To dedicate 40 minutes a day, it's still challenging because the day is just so random and there's no schedule. Like every day is different right now, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. For me too, activity wise, like everything, I think I only do weights. And when I say I do weights, just resistance training, whether that's body weight or a little bit of dumbbell, kettlebell work, probably twice a week, to be honest with you, twice a week. And then I haven't been running, but bike riding has been the one activity that I adopted this past few weeks. That one almost every day. If it's not raining hard, like I pretty much still go between 15, 20 kilometers. That's almost like the non-negotiable, or the thing that I wouldn't say it's not negotiable because I can go through a day without it. That's for sure. But it's something that I enjoy, truly enjoy, and something that I want and consciously make an effort to do so. Non-negotiables for me would still be like a good breakfast, right? Like a good breakfast. I don't skip it. Although sometimes it's a little late, that's a non-negotiable for me still. 3 meals a day, some sort of activity. The reading, I used to read a lot, but now I've been watching a lot more. Let's say I've spent quite a bit of time on YouTube just trying to learn about just bikes, cycling in general.
Yeah.
So from gears to tools to maintenance and everything. Gotta remind you, I have 6 bikes here that I don't want to take to the shop every time. I want to be able to fix them myself if I need to.
Yeah.
But it's a family activity right now.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah, see, and when I'm thinking about these non-negotiables, like for me, definitely like drinking water every morning. So I drink a greens like little shake every morning, and I drink water every morning. For me, it's non-negotiable. Get those 3 meals in as well, and try to focus them like to be high protein based meals. But like obviously, me and you are not wizards of like habit building. We have, I think, pretty solid discipline when it comes towards self-care and things like that. But I don't know. Like, do you think I'm overdoing it on all these tasks I'm trying to accomplish? Because I'm probably only getting 70 to 80% of them done every day. Or is that the win? That's enough.
As a friend, if I talk to you, if you're overdoing it, I think you will. I think you'll figure out if you're overdoing it. If the non-completion of it in a day negatively affects you.
Yeah.
I think now you've put yourself in in that position where I want to win in this game of life, and be better 1% every day or whatever your mindset is. But if it's not realistic, or if it's something that it's very hard to achieve, maybe you're just not there yet. Maybe just back off a little bit.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. So for me, again, any form of activity, when I say any form of activity, and again, it's not very the routine is like gone, right? But the thing is, I need to move, whether that's riding my bike, whether that's playing with the kids out in the park, outside, in the living room, wherever that is. And it gets pretty active, those ones, right?
Yeah.
Or I work out here in the basement or go for a run, which I haven't done, but more on bike ride. I just got to move. Every day I got to move. That's it. That's a non-negotiable, that's for sure. So for me, I guess my list is a little bit more compact and simple. Spend time with the wife, spend time with the kids, make sure business is in order. So like first thing in the morning, that's it. Like calendar, what's going to happen during the day. All the programs are pretty much set for clients that are actively training.
Yeah.
And again, I don't even talk about like the water or the like let's say vegetables in every meal. Those are things that are so set, like it doesn't even, like there's almost no effort required for it for me.
Yeah. So to that point, it almost seems like these non-negotiable tasks. It's like you set some non-negotiables. Let's say for somebody that's trying to incorporate this idea of non-negotiables into their life, you set some non-negotiables that you try to accomplish for like the next 3 months. Once they actually become a habit and so set in stone that you don't even think about them anymore, then maybe that's when you can add on some new ones onto the belt. Because a lot of these things that you talk about, like say like eating less processed food, eating higher protein focused meals, drinking more water, moving, like these are all things that you have under your belt. And these are things that I have under my belt. And then trying to incorporate new ones, like again, like just like reading every day or stretching every day. Like do you have ambition to, like, just thinking about it now, like I'm putting you on the spot because you probably haven't thought about it yet, but like, do you have ambition to add something new under your belt? Like say,
I just did
every night. Don't say biking. Biking obsessed already.
You know, I have a very addictive personality. Once I find something I enjoy and I truly love, man, I'm all in. So it's like this was like me. If I look at myself, probably 2016, 2017, like learning how to be a little bit more competitive in CrossFit, all the movements, etc. I was all in. Day and night, that's all I research. Day and night, that's all I read about until I get good at it. You know, I was good at it, guys. For the record, I was okay. You know what? Fine, whatever. I was okay. Maybe slightly above average, slightly. But like for biking, it's just learning. Like right now, I read articles, I watch videos, mostly watch videos. Learn about what tools you need to take care of the bike, how much, and then there's like a nutrition and training aspect too. Like if I was going to go on a 2-hour, 3-hour bike ride, like how much snacks, how many grams of carbs do I need for the size of my body? How much, depending on how many kilometers and average speed, there's so much to it. Right. And I, again, I'm not a professional at it. That's why I'm trying to learn about it.
So wait, like
that's the thing that
to go back to my question, what's the non-negotiable that you just added? Biking? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
So just biking every day. That's the big one.
Yeah. Right. And then with that, I learned more about what my body can handle, which hills can I do, which hills I have to walk.
Yeah.
So far, I have not walked any hill. I've pretty much conquered every hill that I've tried. So the fitness is still there. A little bit of fitness is still there, but it's something that I knew I was going to enjoy. I just didn't think I was going to enjoy it this much. So if there's anyone listening to this right now and you're into like you're hardcore into, I don't even care if it's mountain biking, trail, or like road, just cycling in general, hit me up. We can chat and maybe I can learn.
You should make Instagram videos at every hill you're trying to conquer, just like zooming up the hill. Like
I have photos and videos, bro. I have photos and videos.
All these hills.
Are you trying to get me to post more?
Yeah,
on social media.
So to that point, that actually transitioned into my next thought of these non-negotiables. We've kind of talked about this. I'm a big believer in like balance, and I'm trying to constantly like find balance and growth in things like physical, mental, and spiritual. So like the non-negotiables that I've chosen are focused on those three aspects. So like my spiritual is like my meditation, my visualization. My mental is like the reading and the math games and stuff like that. And then my physical is just trying to get like myself constantly moving as well. So do you have any focus towards that or any thoughts towards that for yourself?
I guess, again, if we talk about it as a non-negotiable, for me, it wasn't non-negotiable. It still is, but it's so embedded in me that I don't even feel like I need to talk about it. It's like, like church, you pray. I go to church. I, listen to worship music. Like those are like my non-negotiables. I have to soak a little bit of those like every day.
So you don't listen to gangster rap?
Not gangster rap, unfortunately. not as G as you. So
yeah.
But I do that. Listen to podcasts. I still listen to a lot of podcasts. Yeah. So even when I'm bike riding, although it's very frowned upon in the cycling world to have like an earphone or listen to anything while you're riding, I think with like the AirPods though, having that transparency mode that you can still hear everything, I think helps.
You're already
So no
learning
one.
the biking etiquette.
Oh yeah,
Right in the
I'm turning right, turning left.
What's your blinkers? Boop, boop, boop,
Like
boop.
right,
Hazards.
right. And I learned that you're not technically allowed to ride on the sidewalk. Didn't know that. That's where I was riding the whole time.
Man, you just
I did not know that.
you're probably listening
But
to gangster rap as you're breaking the rules, riding on the
right,
sidewalk. Come away.
move.
I
Get out the
definitely
way.
I definitely approach all of this stuff with maybe too much ambition, I would say, with like when I'm saying I get overwhelmed by the non-negotiables. At the end of the day, when I don't complete my list, I more look at it like, well, I got a bunch of them. And if I miss my Vietnamese today and I like meditated today, then tomorrow I'll prioritize the Vietnamese and maybe the meditation will be secondary priority, right? We used to do a lot of goal setting with trainers, like me and you both managed teams and we've like mentored people and we've done life coaching and things like that. Something I used to do a focus on as well would be like having focus on fitness goals, personal goals, and business goals. So like, cause they all intertwine. So it's relative to mind, body, soul, but then you're talking about personal business and fitness. So personal business and fitness, like, what's your non-negotiable, LJ, to build this podcast? What are you gonna do?
That is something that still needs to be discussed.
Bro, you're on the air.
That's like,
Just commit.
I know.
You're gonna do a 30-minute Instagram live daily.
Daily, yeah, that's right. First thing in the morning, 5 o'clock. Stay tuned.
Just like laying in bed. Hey, welcome to my live.
Welcome. Yeah.
Let's get after it.
I don't know. That's something that should be discussed. That's for sure. I want this to grow. I want more people to hear what we got to say because it's so good, like so good.
To that point, though, yeah, it's so like when I think you start thinking about all of those categories, like mind, body, soul, fitness, business, personal, and then you made one non-negotiable for all of that. Then all of a sudden you have 6 non-negotiables, and then things can start to get a little squirrely. And then it's like, again, I'm the crazy OCD one where it's like, what do you do? What do you do? Do you break it down? You do to this day, to this day, to this day, to this day, and like, I'm not sure what the best approach is, but if you take away anything from this, obviously being the listeners or the viewers, if you're taking away anything from this, having something that you're focused on every day, some kind of small task that's going to push you forward, I don't think is a bad thing to think about and or track.
To add to that, again, our minds can only process one thing at a time. So if you're not focused on the goals that you set for the day, you're definitely focused on something else. So you just got to watch out what you're focused on. A lot of people, not calling out names, spend a lot of time on their phone, social media, scrolling. Instead of getting work done, you're just watching other people work.
Well,
just put it that way.
Yeah, like my reading 15 minutes, like reading 15 minutes is not that long, but 15 minutes on Facebook is like super fast. Or 15 minutes on Instagram, like that time goes by fast. My meditation for 10 minutes sometimes feels like a lifetime. Sometimes it feels good and it's comforting and it's like peaceful. And sometimes I'm like, I'm so anxious, like, oh, there's so much thoughts going on. Oh, like 10 minutes feels like forever. But to try to limit those tasks that aren't really serving you and replace them with ones that will in the long run. Yeah, it's challenging.
I think that's where the hump is for a lot of people. And again, it's we've talked about this in a podcast too. It's just about creating the environment, right? Like I deleted my Instagram and my Facebook for so long. I still don't have Facebook. Instagram, I already reinstalled, so I can post about our podcast, which I'm very excited about. But it's hard again when it's available to consume. Our instinct is to just consume it. This can go with food. This can go with social media. This can go with anything that gives you like that instant buzz or instant gratification. It's not our goal, but it's just our nature to like consume whatever's available. So again, if you set aside, again, for me, I took out Facebook and Instagram. Now I got nothing to consume. I go to YouTube. stocks, mountain biking, and I'm more into mountain biking now than stocks, right, or finance. But I still have a good mix of those two. Set yourself up to win. I guess you can sum it up to that, and then maybe you'll find a little bit more success. But if you have a setup that is, food in the fridge is like, oh, you guys got ice cream, you go to a cupboard, you got chips, chocolates, blah blah blah. If you're into getting healthier, well, you're not setting yourself up to win, right? I think that goes the same with habits. But you can have a list, you can have a checklist of things that you want to do. But again, I feel like it's almost as important to make sure that you have no distractions. So setting yourself up for that, I think, is key.
Yeah. Non-negotiables. They should be small, but I think it's a big topic on how you structure it, how you organize it, how you.
Absolutely. I feel like it can take hours. Like if we want to try and actually, you know what? I think we should do that. Come up with like a little strategy book or whatever.
The other thing too, like accountability is a big piece when it's coming to this. Like, who are you accountable to? Like for me, my only accountability for these non-negotiable tasks is that day planner that I bought. I specifically went out and bought a book to track these in. Nobody's asking me if I meditated or read. Like you're not, Diane isn't. Like nobody really cares if I do these tasks except me. So who's going to hold me accountable except this book? So that's why I feel like I need to track it. Mm-hmm. And I don't feel like you get a little bit of a dopamine burst when you click it, like, oh, I completed one and I completed another thing and I completed another thing. It makes you feel like you're accomplished, which isn't a bad thing. But, like some days I don't like writing them down and I don't like tracking it, but I feel like that's the only way that's truly going to hold me accountable until it becomes an automatic.
Yeah. Do you redo the list every day?
Yeah, pretty much. It's
you have a timeline of 15 minutes, but do you actually have like a scheduled time for it?
No. So I don't have a scheduled time for these tasks. They're just basically like, we run a Google Calendar. So I have a Google Calendar. I have we're doing virtual sessions right now. So I'll put in the virtual sessions being like, I need to take this off and this off. And then if we were going to do a podcast, like if we scheduled one in advance, I would put that in, like I have to do it.
Yeah.
That's scheduled in my Google Calendar. But aside from that, I'm like, my focus right now, because our schedules are so weird, it's just like, I need to accomplish these tasks and sprinkle them in. So as soon as I have free time, like we have a conference call at 2:30 today. I have an appointment at 4. So between 3 and 4, I've got an hour. I can meditate for 10 minutes and I can read for 15. So like, I'm just
or we can go to Glenmore Reservoir. And
those are tasks that I'm just sprinkling into that available space. And it's been keeping me up in the morning too. Like, rather than hitting the snooze, like being like, oh, I'll snooze like half an hour. Oh, I can just lay in bed. Like Diane was laying in bed this morning and I was like, man, I just want to stay in bed with her. It's warm. It's comfortable. We have blackout curtains, so it's dark, but I'm like, man, I got to get up and I got to start ticking these things off my to-do list. Otherwise, I'm going to be swamped later. Mm-hmm. So it feels better actually to me personally to actually get these things done. Like it's comforting to stay in bed with your spouse and your loved one, but
of course
it's feeling
play with the kids. That's for me, right? Like,
yeah,
sometimes tickle time just happens, man. Like first thing in the morning, I tell you.
Yeah.
Right. It does. And it's fun and I think it's healthy for everyone, right? Yeah. Emotionally at home. But yeah, sometimes work just needs to get done,
All of these habits too, I've probably told you this multiple times and I've maybe said it on the podcast, but I've really wanted to build the habit of stretching daily where I'm the big stuff, just 20-minute timer of stretching, just come into your carpet or living room, garage, whatever, and just set a 20-minute timer, not even structured, just move around. Oh, this is tight. Oh, that feels good. But I don't feel like I can add that to my to-do list yet because there's too much on it already.
Yeah. I think we should, and this is just a suggestion, I feel like there could be a part 2 of this. Obviously, we're not prepared for that. But a part 2 is to help someone build, let's say a daily planner like yours, to combine whatever optimal thing we can think of realistically that can help someone who is so far from being organized, or having non-negotiables. Because a lot of people that we know, well, what's available in the fridge? What can I eat? You know what? I'm just gonna order. Like, they wing everything. Like, we have people around us that literally just wing everything.
Yeah.
Right. I think if we can come up with something a little bit more concrete, which I'm not promising, but I think Eric and I will be up for the task of trying to create something like a skeleton structure for you to build upon some better habits.
Your non-negotiable habits.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's value. It's one of those things, like we believe everybody should exercise. I believe that everybody should have some non-negotiables that they're working towards, and I think accomplishing those non-negotiables will make you feel good at the end of the day, and I think it will help push you towards greater things in the future. So
yeah, and that's in all aspects of life. Again, they say how you do one thing is how you do everything.
Yeah.
Right. So if you can be good in taking care of yourself, maybe soon you can be good at taking care of the office work or the business work, and then helping other people. It'll just hopefully multiplies.
Yeah. Cool, man.
Hey, that was fun. Should do that again.
Non-negotiable.
Just podcast again.
All right. Well, I'm not sure how long that was, but let's wrap that baby up.
Thank you guys for listening. If you guys have any questions, hit up Eric.
And remember,
he should be able to answer your questions.
Remember, Eljay is going to do some non-negotiables for his podcast, and
I don't think we agreed on that yet.
30 minutes.
I said we will talk about that later.
All right, guys. We'll catch you later.
Thank you for listening.